Hi, I'm Mr. Wood. This is English 12. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is describes the topics for the Romantic Period response blogs. Now, you can find this on the assignments page. If you click on that, you'll get some tutorials on how to create your blog. That's not what I'm going to talk about in detail right now. What I'm going to do instead is speak to the topics. It says choose 5. I might change it to 4. Regardless, I want to talk about what these topics are and what I expect from each one of them, so that you can refer to it later when you are working on these topics. Like, what did Mr. Wood say about topic 3? What did he say? That's why I'm recording it. So, you click on this link right here, and it opens up the list. So, this list I keep updated, so if there's any confusion, I try to update this list. Okay, so you might want to refer to it. All 8 topics are there. To make it more interesting, I have a little PowerPoint I prepared just to make it more visual. So what you're doing is responding to the text or the novel that you read. You'll be responding to Frankenstein. Now, what I'm asking you to do is do something called synthesize. Synthesize is when you take more than one element and you put them together into one coherent whole. In other words, let's say a police officer arrives on a scene. The crime has already happened. And so the officer must take different witness accounts and then put them all together into one story that probably happened. So truth is not always revealed from one source. It's through looking at multiple sources that truth can be uncovered, because each source has its own limitations. So your job is to synthesize. You have to take what you learned from the novel. You have to take what you know about the Romantic Period found in your textbook or Wikipedia, Romantic Period, either one. What you learned about those, you will now do some extra research. And you're going to take all 3 of those and combine them into your response. So again, I'm not asking for opinion. What I'm asking for is for you to pull together the information from these different sources and come to like one solution or discussion. So each post will have at least 2 MLA citations. One citation will either be from the novel or the textbook, or Wikipedia. The other one will be based on your research, and that changes on whatever topic you're doing, okay? So, let's look at the topics then. By the way, I recommend using EasyBib to come up with those MLA citations. All of you have EasyBib accounts that are connected to your Patriot High School account. So if you go to EasyBib, it says sign in with your Patriot High School credentials, and it saves your work for you. So it's a great time saver. All right. The first one, you're going to be looking at Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventures. He's a real person, not a character. So in your responses, please don't refer to him as a character. He's real. He goes out and investigates supernatural phenomena. Now, what is his connection to characters in Frankenstein? Or I would say specifically Victor Frankenstein. What do Victor and Zach Baggins have in common? I want you to find that out and report back to me. Or you can compare Zach Baggins to the ideals of the Romantic Period. Does he align? If he was alive in the 1800s, would he be considered a romantic author or someone of that time? Or is he the opposite? Does he stand against everything the Romantic Period stood for? That's up to you to decide. And if so, for example, the citations, you'll do one from the novel, and your other citation will be the episode that you watched. That would be your 2 citations. Does that make sense? All right? Because you're synthesizing. So I have to see the things that you're putting together. Okay, so that's that one. Topic 2. Rebels and Dreamers, a study in subculture. The Romantic period produced many rebels of its time in the 1800s. There are rebels of our time. Do they line up with those people in the past? Is there a connection between subcultures of today and the artists of the 1800s? Now, what you're going to do, you're going to study some of these subcultures. Wikipedia is a decent source. You might want to go to some other ones once you get deeper into it. I have a list of them. The subcultures are goth, cyberpunk, steampunk, neoclassical, death rock, dark wave, ethereal, modern primitive.
What about rockabilly?
Okay, no, rockabilly does not have anything to do with the Romantic period. Oh. Are these the only subcultures? Obviously not. There are thousands of subcultures. What I did is took a group that I think you can make a connection to the Romantic period. Okay? All right, so, in fact, interestingly enough, the steampunk guys, I went to the Charles Dickens Festival where everyone's dressed up like Victorian era clothes.
That's cool.
But then there's all these steampunk people there as well. So already, even today, people are starting to blur the line between what is truly the Victorian era and what is a modern version of that. So we'll talk more about steampunk and all these another day. But so what you'll do is pick one of these, research it, make a connection. You're not writing essays. They're just 250-word responses. So don't be scared to research and just report back the main ideas. Okay, next. Topic 3, director's chair. You're going to basically watch a Frankenstein film. Again, I have a list. Let's look at the list here. This is Wikipedia made this list. Here's a list of Frankenstein films. You're just going to pick one of them and make a connection to the novel. You're more or less going to look for the differences. That's easier to spot. But more than just the difference, you need to also conjecture. In other words, why were those differences made? Now, you can't give us a good answer because you're not a director. So that's called conjecture. Like based on your experience, what would be your best guess as to why they made those changes? You see what I mean? I'm not looking for absolute truth. You'll never know. I'm asking you to kind of take a good educated guess on it. All right? And don't just say so they can make more money. Okay, maybe you're right, but why does that make more money? You see what I mean? Okay. All right, they decided to, for example, in this movie they used Robert De Niro to be the monster. Now in the novel, the monster's 8 feet tall. Robert De Niro's not 8 feet tall. Then why did they pick him? Why didn't they make him 8 feet tall? So then you try to conjecture. Well, maybe because Robert De Niro's a very famous actor, and people will go see the movie just to see him. Okay, there you go. Don't just say, they use Robert De Niro to make more money. That doesn't make any sense. Why would they make more money? You see what I mean? Okay, so that's topic 3. Topic 4. This is a nonfiction topic where you're actually going to look at some latest articles. I would use Google News or something to that effect to find out what is the latest word on human cloning. I'm not asking you to research the entire topic. Again, not a research paper. I just want you to do a little research and report back. So what's the current state of affairs? Last time I left off, the Bush administration said it's illegal to pursue human cloning technology. Well, why don't you go find out what's going on right now in 2012? Is it still legal? I mean, is it still illegal? Are there countries doing it? Has anyone made any progress? Are there any human clones walking around right now? So find out. You can even ask yourself, well, why? Why is it illegal? Maybe you'll find some answers to that. So do a little research, bring us back some of the main things, and that's basically it. You're going to cite your sources. Also, you have to make that connection to the Romantic period. You're always doing that. What does human cloning have to do with the Romantic period? You tell me. Okay, topic 5. This is a musical one. I believe music is a form of art, and any kind of art transmits that culture's values to other people. And so there is an industrial music scene where these artists, their values tend to align with the Romantic period. So why is it that they're making music today that echoes the same sentiments that were there 200 years ago? I want you to investigate. And the best way to investigate that, listen to some of their music. You can read about the bands and artists all you want, but there's nothing like listening to the actual music. You know what I mean? So, I do expect you to research a little bit. You're going to listen to all 4 tracks. There's like 4 tracks. You're going to listen to all 4. They're very different from each other. And then, if you want to pursue one of them, I expect you to look up the artist. I expect you to look up other music. I expect you to maybe listen to other songs by the same artist. I just didn't force feed it to you. I'm kind of giving you the seeds and you make it grow, okay? So find which path you want to pursue and then describe the song in a musical sense and then make a connection to the Romantic period. Okay, you're going to do the same with the topic 6, except instead of industrial music, it's Gothic music. Now, Gothic music has a lot of different subgenres under that as well. I'll do a whole lecture on subcultures probably next week, but this is just to get you started on it. So same thing with industrial, except it's different type of music. And it's kind of interesting that we see the Gothic scene and the industrial music scene both different, and yet they're very related. It's oftentimes that a person who enjoys one of them also enjoys the other. What a strange connection. The music is entirely different. And yet, we even see these two musics fusing together. We get like goth synth, which is industrial and gothic in one. Yes, question?
Connected to today's music?
Yeah, this is today's music. Yeah, and in fact, it's interesting because the gothic scene and industrial music scene's been around for 25, 30 years, which is longer than most modern music scenes. And yet, you'll never hear these songs on the radio, ever. Never. You'll never hear them on KISS FM. In fact, it's rare to ever see them represented in any, Grammy Award or things like that. You'll rarely ever hear this music played in the U.S. Most of it is around the world. Big! It's like huge in other countries. Not in the U.S. Why is that? We'll talk about that another day. Also, topic 7, the Gothic novel. You'll basically look at a list of novels. Let me go to the list right here. Topic 7. Wikipedia has a nice list of Gothic novels. Okay, it's a lot, right? Frankenstein, of course, is one of them. Wuthering Heights is considered a Gothic novel as well. But what you're going to do is check out these different ones. Pick one. Read it or research it. I said read it because some of you are great readers. You guys can knock out a book like in a day if you really care about it. So go for it. Read a book. Some of them are real short. Some of them are longer. Okay, so in that case, you could just research it. All you want to do is know enough about that book to be able to talk about it and make a connection to the Romantic period, okay? It's not a book report. Just get the basics. Okay, finally, topic 8 is another movie one, Cyberpunk Film. A cyberpunk film is any movie that portrays technology as a hazard to humanity.
So like Transformers?
Transformers is that considered cyberpunk? That's true, it might be. That's a loose connection. iRobot's good because the guy goes crazy and starts killing people. Only thing with Transformers that stops it from being truly cyberpunk is you have the good robots. If it was nothing but, if they were robots that were very helpful one day and then kill us the next, that would be a cyberpunk
They were
film.
hazardous as well, that too, though. Because the only reason the Decepticons are there is because the Autobots.
Okay, so see, if you can describe that and show that it's a cyberpunk film, then you have a good argument. You have a good case.
Why? Because that's how iRobot is too.
There is a list of films. There's some movies I think are cyberpunk that didn't make the list. Terminator series, any of them. Those are all cyberpunk films because, I mean, what is the central lesson Terminator teaches us about technology? Don't trust it, right? It's this huge mistrust. Well, that's not just a movie. The first Terminator film, maybe the 3, 4, 5 in the series, that's called what we call a franchise. They're just trying to get money. But when we talk about the first film, even the second film, it truly came from a culture that was afraid of the computer and afraid of technology. It was before the days of the internet. And these people of great minds were trying to warn us that technology is going to start taking control of your life. And look what happened. Internet came. All these smartphones came. Would you say a lot of people are like tethered to their phones? So these are the people who were warning us against that before it ever happened. How did they warn us? Through political speeches? No. They did it through film. They did it through music. Mary Shelley did it through her novels. So, make that connection. I hope after you guys are done reading that novel, Frankenstein, that you would see it's not just a novel about a monster killing people. It's about other things. It's about passion. It's about, you got to be careful what you're passionate about. It's about technology. Who has to die for us to make technological advances? You know, how many people have to die before we find out or figure out how to do things we want to do? Like scientists are working on nanotechnology. That's the existence of microscopic machines that will do various things in our body, whether it's fight disease or help repair tissue. But we haven't perfected that kind of thing. It's a great idea. How many people have to die before we perfect it? And if it's a big number of people, maybe that's a technology we should not pursue. Or can someone say, you don't understand, the benefits of that outweigh the cost? So see, this is a very controversial issue.
What's that